Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the news station. I'm Katie Killjoy.
And I'm Tom Chen, reporting live for more updates on the audiobook.
After many nights awake running on Monster Energy, coffee, no sleep, ibuprofen, and hot Cheetos. Oh, and crying his eyes out. Vortex has given us more updates on the recording process.
Right as always, Katie. We have word that the first recording segment of the book will take place on December 13th of this year, with the release of the first 11 chapters still up in the air.
Fritz has certainly been busy juggling school and this passion project. We also have updates on the second book. All of the poem segments have been written out, and we have confirmed that this installment will have 50 chapters and 11 more characters will be joining the roster.
Another grand slam novel coming our way. How many more hours does he have till he runs out of battery? Will he know what his limit is before he finds out? How many more installments of the series will we get until he says enough is enough? And should I quit my job?
A very good list of questions, Tom, except for the last one. Who the fuck said you should leave?
Okay.
Anyways, we have another interview coming up with Vox Tech.
And as always, folks,
Trust us
with
with your
everything.
everything.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we have another review for the Ezra audiobook. And today we have someone very special. We managed to fish in the author himself. How about you introduce yourself to the crowd here?
My name is Vortex. I am a college student. I wrote this book when I was in high school, and it's one of my biggest works to date.
A multi-year project.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am a young transgender writer and author. I am a published author in the United Kingdom. Not only do I write the book, I've also done some minor illustrations, and I also voice the main character, Ezra, as well as St. Peter.
Oh, wait, you get the main character and Saint Peter. Okay.
So, funny story is nobody wanted to audition for St. Peter, and he is the only other character that doesn't share scenes with Ezra. And it felt really awkward wanting to voice other characters that share scenes with her. So I ended up taking the only character that didn't share the spotlight with her, so I can give other people the time to shine.
Okay, that makes sense. So what inspired you to write this book in the first place?
So, I was in a D&D campaign since April of 2024, and that's when Ezra was first created. And people really were invested with the storyline that were there that I've conjured up for her. And I thought, because a lot of people were either getting kicked out or leaving after her arc was finished, that I started writing poems and tidbits about her to kind of leave like clues about her past. And everybody seemed to like what I had, so I said, why not give writing a shot?
That's where it all started. So why is that's actually really impressive. Why is this your biggest work in comparison to some of your others?
Um, so, the second biggest work that I have done before this was a book trilogy that I did, and it was called The Rings Rulers. It didn't do super well because it was very conjointed, but I think this is the biggest one because it is my longest book, 66 chapters, and it is the first time I'm trying to do an audiobook.
Oh my! I can imagine that's pretty mentally taxing.
It is very taxing, but the people that I have in my cast make it worthwhile. The only problem that I've been having is a lot of my actors have different time zones, and one of them is in a completely different country than us. So finding time to record has been very challenging.
Oh my! Imagine that'd be difficult to work around. So, were there any like errors, issues? Like, were there any? Basically, was there any scuff?
So we tried the first time around. This was a month after I finished writing everything the first time. We tried a year ago to make this audiobook happen, and we've had a lot of falling outs with actors and time zones not adding up and people not being able to make it last minute. And the server that was first a part of the whole thing that started everything got hacked, and we couldn't use it anymore, and it's just been sitting on the shelf for a while. But then after a second D&D campaign came around where I introduced Ezra to a new group of faces, everybody wanted to learn more about her, and I said, you know what, let's take the book back, let's try this again, and this is what we've done so far.
You're pretty determined. So, I normally ask this with the others. What's your favorite scene you wrote or acted?
My favorite scene that I've written would probably have to be it's like a tie between the first chapter when we get to meet Ezra's parents and we see their falling out. It's a tie between that and one of the scenes where I have written with Ezra's Ezra's adopted parents helping Ezra after she realizes after her first relationship had failed that she has fallen in love again. And it's kind of like the whole discourse with that. Those were my two favorite scenes that I've written. Acted, the favorite scene that I've acted in was probably there's a giant scene during the anti-Blitz party where Ezra and Blitz start fighting outside of the building.
Oh, that sounds fun.
The scene where they're fighting is the longest chapter in the book.
I can imagine. I feel like they would have a lot to say to each other, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good to have that confirmed. What was the main thing that pushed you to finish writing the book?
The thing that pushed me a lot was I got to meet some of the cast members of the two shows that this book was based off of, Hazbin Hotel and Haluva Boss, last December. And the clips that I've showed them of the last server and the pictures I've shown them of Ezra and the scenes, the stuff that I had in my brain, they thought it was a good idea, and I really wanted to expand more on that world. And I thought, like, well, if the actual actors that inspired me to do this like it, why not keep going?
You managed to get approval from the people who inspired it?
Yeah, I tried to, and it worked out, and I'm going back to meet more of them this year, especially the creator of the two shows, so I'm excited what she has to say about it.
Normally I'd say you're moving up in the world, but if you've already met them, you've moved up. So is it complicated to portray your role as like a director and a lead?
So, I think so, yes, because you have to build two different types of relationships with your actors. Not only do you have to feel like the boss of everybody, like you have to make sure that they're doing their work right. You also want to build a friendly, more like friend like rather than just boss and employee relationship so that they can feel more comfortable and it feels more lifelike in the book when they have those interactions. It sounds more fleshed out rather than just you're reading a script and you're just following what the paper says.
Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, we did have a few of our, let's say, oh, I'll just be honest. We had a couple of our employees with ADHD read your book. How many references did you put in it?
Quite a lot. I'm a theater kid. I really enjoy Viv putting in Broadway actors in the roles because it's a big musical show. And I really wanted to incorporate some of the shows that I've been in and the shows that I love to watch inside of the book. Like, one of my favorite ones, for example, was when we get to meet one of Ezra's family members, who is one of the seven deadly sins in the book. Since Patrick Page was the original voice for Satan and was the original cast for Hades and Hadestown, I have like a few Hadestown references that are like in his office, and you can actually hear the audio when we actually get the background stuff situated. You can actually hear some of the music and the instrumental playing that you would hear in Hadestown. And it's just like little tidbits like that that bring a shout out and an homage to the original voice actors for some of these characters. I wanted to bring that in and hammer it down with some of the things. That's just one thing that makes me happy is I get to pay homage to the people that kind of inspired this thing.
Seems like you put quite a lot of work into it.
I tried.
And it looks like it might finally pay off. So, is there anything else you want to tell the audience?
That even though that the project, if you're working on something or if you're like trying to achieve a thing, don't think you're not good enough to do it because everybody starts somewhere. And I thought for the longest time I would never be able to like write. I never thought I'd be able to act. And even though it's something that you're doing, even though it's something you're taking the reins on, that you're leading, it's still something. And everybody starts somewhere.
Very true words. Okay, I know I worded that so it like as like a thing to start. How do I word this? Leave off the show, but there is one personal question I just thought of. What was the hardest chapter to write?
Oh,
I just gotta know.
um, okay, there was a lot of difficult chapters to write. The one that made me kind of leave and then come back to several times had to be chapter 12. Reason being is because that's when we first meet the abuser for Ezra, and that's kind of when we're introduced to Marilyn and Valentino, and they kind of talk about a lot of shall we say, sensitive topics involving Ezra, and as someone who has been in Ezra's position, it just made me sick to write it. So I had to keep leaving and coming back to that.
Oh. Oh, okay. All right then. Well, seriously this time, is there anything else you want to say? Because
I other than I have a TikTok channel that I will leave in the description for this interview, that I post updates, I post different cosplays, I post so many different things on there that I think they should also be recognized, and that is also just one other small thing that people can do to help support this, because I'm a broke college student, so I just need that little bit of a push to help pay for my tuition.
of course. Well, you all know the drill. Don't push this one too hard. They're dealing with enough at whatever school they're going to. Well, in any case, seems like that's all the time we have for this one. We are so glad to have had you on the show, and thank you for watching our interview.